Alternatives to non-anesthetized piglet castration. What options are there to castrate piglets without pain? The surgical castration of male piglets in pig farming is often presented as having no alternative. This extremely painful intervention is usually justified with the prevention of the risk of the so-called boar taint. Boar taint occurs extremely rarely and only when the meat is heated. There are also several alternatives to surgical castration. In addition to boar fattening and immunocastration, a vaccination against boar taint, surgical castration under general anesthesia, and postoperative analgesia is also an intermediate option. All three alternatives are acceptable from an animal welfare point of view. There are also new alternatives arising with the progress of technology, like genetic castration. On the other hand, methods that do not adequately eliminate pain or consciousness, such as local anesthesia, are not acceptable. Alternatives to castration: boar fattening. The male pigs are raised and fattened without being castrated. The animals are more active, and there may be increased activity in the barn. The housing conditions must therefore be adapted to the special needs of the boars. Good management is required. In the UK, Ireland, and some other countries, boars are traditionally raised without being castrated at all. In other countries, there are already some companies that have switched to boar fattening, but not many immunocastration, vaccination against boar taint. A vaccination is carried out 2 to 3 times, which suppresses the testicular activity of the boars. The testicles grow less and there is no boar taint. The vaccine is applied with a safety injector. An unintentional self-injection, which could also endanger users, is practically impossible. Immunocastration is not a hormonal treatment, and the pork therefore does not contain hormones. This is very important for consumers to know, as it can otherwise lead to false consumer information. New Zealand and Australia are countries that have successfully used immunocastration since 1998. It has also been carried out extensively in Brazil since 2005. The preparation has been approved as a vaccine in Switzerland since 2007, and in the EU since 2009. It is used primarily in Belgium. Genetic castration. Gene editing is currently not permitted across the European Union, but that might change in the near future. There are constant new developments and research to improve animal welfare, and countries outside of EU already working towards the implementation of genetic castration to prevent the unnecessary suffering of pigs during castration. There are many possible ways genes can be edited to castrate the pigs and therefore prevent the boar taint. One option seems to be by suppressing the male phenotype, where the testes do not develop, even though the pig's genotype is male.